Okay, so this is a game I played at TwitchCon. It's called Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive. It is a game based upon the anime you probably figured, Solo Leveling. That's actually an anime I enjoyed watching, so I tried the game at TwitchCon. I actually enjoyed the game. When I got back home, they asked me, hey, you played it, do you want to do a video covering Solo Leveling? So I said, sure, why not? So shout out to Netmarble for sponsoring this video.
Power of darkness.
So what is the game exactly? Well, this is a game where you have a variety of different hunters you might recognize from the show. They have a variety of different abilities, and it's sort of a PvE ARPG style game. This is just the demo version, so I only have access to some of the game at the moment as I've been playing this for a little bit here. But you can see there is a world map. You go through different quests. You fight bosses. For instance, the Cerberus was a pretty interesting, longer fight. And there's also a time trial. I'm going to show you the time trial just to give you a general vibe check of what the game is actually about. You can see here sort of the top players that are currently in it. There's both solo and co-op in this game. It's an action ARPG, so you're going to have things you expect, like you're going to have abilities to use. You're going to have combos. You're also going to have weapon style types. So if you're someone who wants to use agility more, you might be like me and want to use the daggers, but you also maybe want to go pure strength and use swords, or maybe you want to be a caster and build intellect and use like the casting book. There's also skill trees, so there's like assassin, duelist, elementalist, one other one I'm forgetting about off the top of my head here. And there's actually going to be combos, so as I'm completing combos, you're going to see the number of hits goes up, so you can kind of chain the combos together by dashing between the different people as you're fighting them here. And there's also parrying, there's extreme dodging, so if you dodge at like a really good time, for instance, there's extreme evasion, etc. So you're going to have all of the mechanics you're probably familiar with like an action ARPG fighting style of game. So now this is the time trial, so what that I'm doing in particular here is you fight mobs, and then you get to the end and you're going to find a boss, and you're going to see how quickly you can actually fight the boss themselves. I can change my weapons by hitting the C button here, and I can go to, I can use my pistol, my sniper, my pistol style build, or I can go switch back to the daggers, for instance. So this is kind of a quick example of like, there's the sniper rifle I can pull up. There's just a quick example of like the different types of weapon styles. And if you're familiar at all with the anime, then you're probably going to notice some of the attacks he does in the game. You have like the Monarch system, for instance. There is passive guys that he can resurrect that sort of do just like passive skills in the background. Here's an example of like a dodge into a combo, and you can use your different abilities there. And in the middle, you kind of charge up with it's like your mana system to be able to cast like whatever your primary is. It also has team building. So this is where I'm just using Jin Woo at the moment. If you're gonna notice in the bottom left corner, there is a system of like a party system. So you could have like a healer, a DPS, like a CC person. In fact, when I was fighting Cerberus earlier, that was one of the only ways I was actually able to beat that fight originally. I needed someone to continually heal me while I had sort of a CC and then can cleanse the debuffs of the constant burn that he was applying. So there is raid style mechanics, and you can actually do those in co-op as well. And as you do boss fights and continue throughout the game, you're going to be unlocking new equipment. For instance, the daggers and gun that I'm using, I got from a boss fight earlier. And there's transformations if you're familiar with the show at all. Like here's like the Monarch transformation, for instance. So you might be recognizing some of these moves from the actual show itself. So as far as I can tell, the game is mixed between like a team building and gearing out your character type of game, progression style, PvE game with co-op, as well as a pairing of almost like a fighting game where you're doing combos and kind of pairing together your different moves and trying to figure out what's going to actually be the most DPS, etc. So depending upon what kind of game you like, maybe you like fighting games, or maybe you like team building style games in which you're like piecing together gear on it to kind of figure out what's the strongest team combo you can do. It might have that to offer for you. This is sort of your stat build out page. So you have strength, vitality, agility, intelligence, perception. You have different weapons which will scale depending upon what you're actually building. So like here I have pure agility, right? If I actually go to like my skill tree, you can see there's assassins, duelist, elementalist, and ruler, depending upon what kind of build you're actually doing here. There's a variety of that there. Then you have your different skills you can actually apply. So you have like cutting rush, etc. And you can see on the abilities here what they actually scale with. So it scales with agility or strength or perception. So if you're doing like an agility build with daggers, then you can do agility-based gameplay, which is sort of what I'm doing with agility with the guns there, for instance. Then you have your actual like main skills that are other than just like your basic attacks here, and you can see like this one teleports behind them. For instance, they're going to scale depending upon the different attributes here, like intelligence, agility, vitality, etc. This one, for instance, death, does damage when somebody is thrown into the air, so you could combo them in the air and then do an air combo, etc. So that's kind of where you like get like the fighting game style. And you have Monarch's Awakening, which is like a transformation skill that allows you to have like a new set of abilities as well as a new ultimate skill here. This is just a quick example of what it actually looks like. And then, of course, you have gear that is equipped with your character. You have set effects, for instance, so you could build out your character in a variety of ways depending upon the gear that you acquire. And you will get the gear as you continue throughout the world. For instance, this demo only has Chapter 1, so it's a fairly early into the game demo, but during that I was able to farm some equipment here just from doing some of these different areas, as well as some of these actually drop like new weapons, etc. So I was able to get like the S tier weapon, etc. just from killing like Cerberus, for instance. So part of the game is the strategy and team building of it. So I was struggling with a boss, Cerberus, and then I realized that one of these people here, Lee Johi, actually cleanses debuffs, and does heals, which was pretty much mandatory for me to actually be able to beat the boss. So there is some interesting combinations of like figuring out, okay, you have a healer, you have like a CC person. I was using Lisa Blanche here to do freezes in order to freeze the boss, and then I would heal with my other character, and then I had the DPS here with him, Lim Taegu. I'm trying with these names. Okay, so here's my DPS guy. So I'd have a combination of like freezing into the healing, into the damage, and then I kind of enjoyed the piecing together of the team aspect of it. So if you like boss raids, or you like the concept of like a harder mission that you're trying to beat, and then you try to figure out what kind of combinations build together as well, that's also part of the game. As of the time of the recording of this video, I was wondering if there was going to be any in-game microtransactions. There is nothing in the demo while I was playing the game that showed in-game pay-to-win or microtransactions or anything like that. And they specifically state that the game is fully unlocked without any in-game purchases. So as of the timing of this recording, the game looks like it is. You basically just play it, and you unlock the PvE and gain the gear and etc. just by grinding the game, and it's a full-on PC and console gameplay. So as far as I can tell, it seems like it's fully unlocked from actually playing the game, and I was given no information regarding any in-game microtransactions. Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive releases on November 24th. It will be available on Steam and Xbox, with a PS5 and Xbox Series X and S being released in 2026. The game is fully unlocked with purchase of the game and does not require in-game purchases. It has up to 4-player co-op and a single-player story, as well as boss raids, and obviously it's PvE focused. Though if you do like competitive nature, there is the leaderboard in which you can do time trials to see where you can place on the leaderboard. I think I got to like rank 29 or something in this demo. I was nowhere close near the top, but people are putting up some pretty fast times. So if it looks interesting to you, you can use the link in the description to check out the game. Thank you to Netmarble for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you on the next one.